start the fight. Stand together through the night. America first, raising the flag.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Jersey Shore podcast. That's SURE because we are always sure. Coming to you live from my home tonight, but brought to you by the great America's Pulse Network and First Amendment Live Studios. Now, today we have some breaking news. All right, everyone already probably knows about it. It's all over the world at this point. But today we're going to talk about the latest political earthquake shaking up America First circles. Basically, the public fallout between two of the most powerful figures in modern American history. And that's President Donald J. Trump and billionaire innovator Elon Musk. So number one, I hope everyone enjoyed the radio show. I always air that before. It's a separate link that was on earlier. And now I'm just coming to wrap up the end of the week. So I named this episode Broken Arrow. And for those of you that don't know what a broken arrow means, military term, I'll show you this clip.
Broken arrow! I say again! Broken arrow! Broken arrow!
Confirmed, broken arrow.
Broken arrow? That means that an American has been overrun, causing every combat aircraft for support. My God, there's no hiding it now.
All right, so that is what a broken arrow is, and that's the way the rest of the country feels right now. Like there's a broken arrow, everyone's behind enemy lines, and now it's just a no holds barred. Bombs have to be dropped, and everything's eviscerated, and whoever survives. And that's where everyone's at right now. And I really personally wish they weren't, but there's a couple of things we have to look at with this. I mean, let's get something straight right off the bat. I mean, this isn't just like a tabloid drama. This is a major moment in culture war, I would say. A moment where we see what happens when ego, influence, and ideology collide at the very top. Now, obviously, Donald Trump is the president of the United States. He has a huge ego, and I don't mind that he does. And Elon Musk is the richest man in the world, and he has a huge ego as well. I don't mind that he does either. But what happens when the two clash? And was it bound to happen, or wasn't it? I mean, a lot of people are waiting for it. I know the left and Democrats, they were waiting to drive a wedge between Musk and Trump. And now they're salivating over it. Now, is this going to be a big thing for them? Is it going to be good for the Republican Party, good for America, or bad for America, bad for the Republican Party, great for the Democrats? I'll leave that up to you after this episode. So for years, like Elon Musk and Trump, they were aligned on a lot of things. Trump was the wrecking ball, going to D.C., draining the swamp, draining the establishment people. And Musk was the renegade tech guy, disrupting like the corrupt systems of big government and big media. And that's what Musk did when he bought X. He believed in free speech and everything else like that. And he overspent. I mean, he had the money to do it, but he bought Twitter for way too much money, is what I mean. But he did it, and I thank him for that because he opened up free speech. Twitter was suppressing and censoring everybody for the Democrats, and Musk stepped in and he did everyone in the United States a service for our First Amendment rights. So Musk really came out, I believe it was right around the assassination attempt on Trump, and he supported Trump in PA, number one. As you've probably already seen in all the going back and forth, Musk said that Trump would not have won PA if it wasn't for him. Trump says he would have won it anyway. Again, two big egos clashing. Would Trump have won without Elon Musk? Maybe. Would he have lost without Elon Musk? Maybe. Who knows? It's up to you to decide. So now Elon was in the White House. He was appointed the head of DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, and it was looking like the MAGA movement had like Silicon Valley's smartest rebel on their side. But then it all blew up. And then what happened? So, well, if you take it from Trump's side, Trump, introduced the big, beautiful bill. It's a massive tax infrastructure package. And yes, will it add to our country's debt, the debt ceiling? Yes, it will. They say about $4 trillion. But the whole thing with Trump, he's thinking that his tariffs and his plan of other countries investing in the United States are going to offset that. And he's going to lower taxes even though Democrats say it's only for the rich, it is not. I mean, just think about it right now. Don't go into it. It's only for the rich if he wasn't doing no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security. That doesn't sound rich stuff to me. But to get through this monologue, I just want to go there. So there were some serious accusations between the both of them. And when one fired off, the other one fired off. They went back and forth. Tesla's stock dropped like so bad. You know, it went down. Well, I know I lost money, but it lost like $150 billion in value. The stock did. And when you look it up, and people were saying Elon Musk personally lost $34 billion. No, he didn't lose $34 billion because he didn't sell the stock. For everyone out there that says he lost money, no, he only lost it if he sold his stock. So that stock is going to bounce back up for sure. So don't sell your stock if you're invested in it. I'm not selling mine. But that's what people don't realize. And well, at least that's what the mainstream media and the left want you to think. They want to push it out there. Oh, you just cost Elon Musk $34 billion. No, you didn't. You didn't sell a stock. It's just like if you bought your house. Say you bought your house, I'm just for easy numbers, bought your house for $100,000. And your house is worth 150 at one point. And then the housing market drops, and then your house is worth 90. So did you lose $10,000? No, because you're still living in your house. If you sold your house at $90,000, then yes, you lost $10,000. But if you stayed in your home until the market came back up, then you will make a profit off of it, just like anybody else would if you stuck with it, because the market will come back. But you didn't lose anything unless you sell it. And that's the difference. And that's what they want you to believe. But it's not. So a lot of people also, politically is a GOP toast. But Trump's own base, they still believe him 12-1, but we'll see where that goes. So I want to end my monologue right now because I really want to get into this stuff. I'm going to show you some tweets. I'm going to get into a bunch of different things, different scenarios, and I just want the listeners out there, you decide for yourself what you think it might be, because I have some different ideas of what it could be. There may be other people out there to put them out there before me, but we'll see where it goes. So after this break, we'll go to our first
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. The America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. APN's The Pulse, hosted by Alexandra, Damon, and Seth. So tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X/Twitter, Rumble, Truth Social, Facebook, and YouTube. Join the revolution. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
All right, welcome to our segment here. So first, before I get into it, I just want to show a couple of tweets that were put out there. Tweets, posts, whatever you want to call it nowadays, between X, Truth Social, between Trump and Elon Musk. So I want to show you the first one by Musk. Now, this one here is saying that he should be impeached. Musk said yes to this. Someone else posted it and said that Vance should take over. So do we really think that? I mean, does Musk really believe that Trump should be impeached? I don't think so. But is it a war between two big egos? You know, he hurt him, so he's going to hurt him back. It's back and forth. And I'll get to that in a little bit. So, but yeah, so Musk put that out there. He said yes, that Trump should be impeached. Now, did he do that out of anger? Yes, probably. Yeah. And I'll show you even further. Let's go to the next tweet. Oh, wait, it's not there. That one has been removed. And that was a tweet that Elon Musk posted saying that Trump was part of the Epstein files. That's why Trump's not releasing them. Well, Trump removed that. It's still out there on X if you go look for it, because other people reposted Elon stuff, and Elon even commented on their post. But Elon's original post saying that Donald Trump was on the Epstein list, he removed it. So again, it still shows you a moment in anger and not thinking clearly. I'm going to get back and just say this just to hurt them. And then we'll get the last tweet after all these that I'm going to go through. So let's go to the next one. This one is by Trump. Now, Trump is basically saying that, he didn't think that Elon was going to turn against him, but so basically, in the end, Trump is. I was kind of surprised about this. Trump could have really came back really, really hard. I mean, he did in some ways, saying that Elon was mad because he canceled the EV mandates and all that stuff, and Elon's coming back again. Again, this is like childish. It's two adult children, which every man can understand sometimes, because I get like that as well. I'll be honest. If somebody that I am tight with and we don't agree, you get into an argument, you get into a spat, and somebody says something bad about you, you're going to come right back out and you want to hit them hard, and it's like an ego thing. You want to hit them harder than they hit you, and then in the end, you'll see it all calm down, and I believe it's already starting to. So let's go to Trump's next tweet too, so you guys can read that. It's basically the same thing. He's saying that on this next tweet, you'll see that Trump said that Musk was, he was being overrun, he was getting tired, so that's what it was. And then he said he just went crazy. Is it true? I mean, maybe. I mean, Musk, think about it. I mean, he's number one. He's got, I don't even know, 50 kids. So maybe he does. I know he has a lot, but he has multiple companies. He's the richest man in the world. And he also decided to be a part of this administration and handle Doge as well, and his companies at the same time, and deal with somebody like Donald Trump. That's a hard thing to take on. I mean, that's a lot to put on somebody. Everyone says that he wasn't sleeping. Musk had a black eye the one time. What happened? He got accused of using drugs. I doubt that, but you never know. But either way, my point being, I'm going to go, you know what? Let's go into this last tweet, and I'll go into all of it. This last tweet here. So this is Trump. Now, Epstein's own lawyer, just cleared Trump's name. So that's what it is. Epstein's lawyer set the record straight or Musk's, really big bomb is what it says. And that was a big bomb, putting it out there. I'll tell you that right now. When I did my radio show last night, I found out about 3 minutes before we went on. And I'm looking at it. I thought it was fake. I'm like, this isn't real. But it was. And then I see Elon Musk saying he was on Epstein's list. That's why he's not releasing it. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. And I said on the radio show, I said, well, I'll tell you one thing, we looked at Trump as draining the swamp and holding people accountable. And I said, as much as I like Trump and his policies and what he's doing, and again, I don't agree with everything Trump does. I mean, you can't agree with everything everyone does. I mean, obviously, look at this mess that the two are in right now with Musk and Trump. But if I found out that Trump was on Epstein's list and he did that, then I want him to go to jail. Of course. Everyone needs to be held accountable for their actions, especially something like that. I doubted it very highly that Trump was. I thought it was just Elon getting so upset and putting it out there just to hurt Trump. And either way, I think he realized it. That's why it's down. And this news came out about Epstein's lawyer clearing Trump. So we'll see where it goes. But either way, I will just say this. Just wait a week. Wait a week. And I promise you the dust will settle. So now going into it, like Trump's movement, it was rooted in restoring the nation, his, borders, values, working class strength. Musk, for all of his brilliance and, he still plays ball with China. He still takes government subsidies. And when the chips are down, he chose Wall Street numbers over Main Street values. Now, but really, did he? I don't think so. That's what a lot of people are saying. I read that from what somebody wrote. And I don't think Musk did. I really don't think he did. And because he wouldn't have got behind Trump. I think Musk really has a good side about him, that he believes in America first because he believes in capitalism, because it made him the richest man in the world. So that's where I think that comes from. But the only difference between Trump and Musk, because it's hard to differentiate who is right and wrong, because I think they're both right with the big, beautiful bill. Trump knows he needs to get it passed. Trump is in government. So when I say this, Elon Musk, he's ideological. Trump is a pragmatist. So they're both right in a sense. Musk wants better for this nation. He wants to not put this country in debt. he wants to get everything even keeled and budgets balanced and everything like that. And I believe that that's where it should be. I love the way he thinks. That's great and all, but Trump is a pragmatist. So he knows that he has to pass a bill to keep the government going, even though there's stuff in there that Trump doesn't like. But you have to get the votes from Congress and Senate afterwards. So you have to have stuff in there that you don't like, or it will never pass. And that's the hardest thing. And what makes it easier for Elon is a billionaire. He's a self-made billionaire. He owns multiple companies, but everyone a part of Elon's companies, they work for Elon. So Elon is the boss and everyone works for him. So if Elon doesn't like something or someone's not producing to make profit or someone hurts the company, Elon can say, I'm sorry, you're fired, and hire somebody else. And because he's in the business of making profit, that's what it's for. I mean, he's in the business of making great things and actually making not just this nation, the world, a better place with his technology and everything else with SpaceX and all the good, great stuff that he's doing. But he's still in the business to make profit so he can keep on going. So if it's not going the right way, he can remove parts of his company, meaning people that aren't doing the right thing, and say, you're not working, you have to go somewhere else. I want it here that's going to make this work. That's how his business works. Now, when it comes down to government, when it comes down to Donald Trump or any other president or anybody elected, any other elected official, they're elected by the people. So the government works for the people. At least that's the way it's supposed to be. But still, in the end, that is the way it's designed. That's the way it works. So the government officials work. The government is not in the business to make profit. They don't have money. And I tell people that all the time. When everyone's like, oh, I'm getting a stimulus check, the government money. Well, you're really not getting government money. The government does not have money. They have our money, our taxpayer dollars. And so they don't make a profit. They don't sell a product or anything like that. It's just, we go to work, we pay our taxes. The government collects their debt. They use it to pay for everything, all the, our entitlement programs. They pay for things that we don't agree upon. They pay all their salaries to be there. But the thing is, we can vote them out because they do work for us. They're not in the business to make profit. So Trump can't turn that away. Trump can't say, okay, well, I'm going to just slash all this. And he cannot do it. He's a pragmatist and he knows what reality is. So in order to keep the government going, keeping things move forward, he has to pass this bill. Now, the bill has a lot of good things in it, and it has some other stuff in it that's bad too. Now, will this feud between the two of them have Democrats look at it and say, oh, we're going to be on Musk's side and we got to cut from the bill? And then maybe it will happen. Maybe the bill will get cut and some Democrats will vote for it because they're going to cut certain things out. Who knows? Because they think they have Musk on their side. But I know that the Democrats are salivating right now. They really are. But I don't really think it's that big of a deal. I really don't. I mean, it's not. Because at the end of the day, Trump is a fighter for this country, for the forgotten men and women who built it, and for the kids. We're trying to save them from a godless, lawless future. And Elon, he's a genius, and geniuses do need to pick a side. But even if Elon picks his own side and does what he's been doing for years, he's going to be fine too. So I don't think there's anything that you have to worry about. And to be honest with you, I truly believe that this will be a good thing for the Republican Party. This will be a good thing for the nation, and it could be a good thing for Musk as well. So let's look at the other side of the coin, because this feud between Musk and Trump, while it's dramatic on the surface, like I said, it could be good. It could be good. So hear me out. So sometimes conflict, it clarifies, and right now, basically this shakeup is forcing the conservative movement, the America First movement, to define who they are, what they stand for, and who's really in it for the long haul. Now, if Elon wasn't in it for the long haul, which he really wasn't, he was in it for a part-time gig for Doge, and everyone knows that, and he knew that going in, and he did a great job with Doge, uncovering all the fraud and abuse. Yes, but Trump is in it for the long haul. He ran for president for 3 times. He has been president twice. So he's definitely in it for the long haul. Trump, Elon did endorse some stuff when he backed Trump. Obviously, they loved him with the EV mandates, and then they started burning Teslas when he was on Trump's side, and now they're looking to have him back. But Trump, I mean, think about it. He was already rich himself. He could have just did what he wanted to do. Even after he lost the 2020 election, he could have rode off in the sunset and said, you know what, I don't care. But no, he came back, even though they tried to bankrupt him. They tried to put him in jail. They tried to defame him, and they even tried to kill him. And Trump just kept on coming. So Trump is in it for the long haul, and Elon is in it for the long haul for his company, but not really in the political world. But they can still get along, and you'll see they will eventually. So, but if you think about it, for far too long, the GOP has had too many leeches. And I will say this about Steve Bannon. I like Steve Bannon, like stuff that he says. I listened to some of his podcasts. I like how he is. He's edgy. I like how he's direct and what he says. But he reminds me of one of the leeches. He's already, I don't know if anybody heard it, if you listened to his last podcast, he was talking about deporting Elon Musk. Now Bannon is out of Trump's circle pretty much. He still talks good about Trump and everything else, but he's out of the circle. And Trump even trashed him when back in when I forget what year it was, 2018, whatever year it was when Trump was president the first time, when he trashed Bannon. But Bannon's been waiting a long time to get back in the circle. And not just him, I'm talking about everybody else as well. So they see Musk getting pushed out, and they're all like, oh, salivating to get back in with Trump. So that's the only concern I have is having too many leeches coming in that are going to pose a threat. So, basically what it's going to do, it's going to light a fire under the Republican Party to sharpen its identity and finally stop chasing approval from billionaire technocrats, who are only half in. And that's what Elon was. He was half in, but it was known he was half in. I'm not dissing Elon Musk, saying, oh, you're only half in. He was only half in. He said it. Trump said it. And that's what he was there for a role. And then whatever happened in between, testosterone, egos fly, and they're going back at each other. But again, I wouldn't worry about it because I believe this is going to strengthen the Republican Party. It's going to strengthen the United States, and it may even strengthen Elon and his companies as well. So, like I said, it might be the best thing for Musk as well. So Musk has a choice. He can stop playing politics and in the shadows and start being clear about what he really believes. Now, if he really truly cares about free speech and innovation and breaking government overspending and bloat, and fighting cancel culture, then great for me, great for everybody. Get specific, get serious, stand on principle, not profit. Now, he can do that, but still make the profit. So that's where you have to separate it. Again, he's in the business to make profit. Trump is not with the government anyway. I'll put it that way. So this split lets Musk be Musk and independent, anti-establishment, and outside the system. That's really his brand. That's when he's strongest. And if he stops trying to play the political insider and goes back to disrupting corrupt systems, that's when he brings real value to the fight, because that's what he did before. So him buying Twitter and turning it into X is amazing. It's great. So I'm glad that he did that. But now he's back in his lane and Trump is back in his lane. So for America, this could be the best reset that we need. I mean, for too long, the line between politics and business has been blurred. We've had corporations in bed with government, tech in bed with Washington, and billionaires calling the shots behind closed doors. I mean, that's not the America our founders envisioned. It really wasn't. That's not what it was. They didn't have lobbyists back then for elections. It was just someone went out on a bully pulpit and news spread by notes and horseback. There was no big tech firms out there funneling tons of money into campaigns. So that's why it could be good for America in the long run. This is a public clash that puts it all on the table. I mean, there's no more hiding. I mean, no backroom deals. Now, like voters, they know exactly where everyone stands. There's no more like illusions or fantasies, fantasy alliances, whatever it might be. Now, even if you want to call Trump and Musk a bromance, I know it looked good in the beginning, and it did. And I think it still will be. I think this is all going to blow away. I'm telling you. But this could push the GOP to double down on working class populism. It really can. I mean, this is what wins elections in Ohio, PA, Arizona, and right here in New Jersey. Actually, this is the type of stuff that wins elections. Where they're actually more effective anyway. I mean, and just maybe, this clears the runway for new leadership, like young, authentic, fearless leaders. There's a lot of people out there. I'm not going to name names now. Well, my buddy Pete Sykes, he's running for assembly. So Pete, I'm throwing you out there. You're the man. So hopefully you get it done. But he's a young guy and he's awesome. So, Pete, I'm putting you out there again. I'm waiting for that psych report to come out, buddy. Still going to keep on you about that. But yeah, my point is, if it gets more people to step up, yes, it is. It's going to get more people to step up. But everyone out there, I just want to say for the last time, well, I'm not going to say the last time. I'll say it probably one more time. This is not a bad thing because it'll even out in the end. And a lot of people are saying this could be like a social experiment. It could be doing this for show just to get the Democrats on the side of the big, beautiful bill or whatever it might be. Or now, as great as that would be, I would love it. I really would if Trump and Musk got together and basically said, and faked this whole entire thing. And the media is all over it. They can't stop talking about it, especially the mainstream media that I hate so much. And you all know that how much I hate mainstream media because they're just full of lies and deceit. But if they just did this to trick the mainstream media into just going crazy over it for their ratings and just talk about, oh, look at Trump, it's his downfall. Musk, his best allies, turning against him. He's saying he's on the Epstein file. I mean, the AOC and all them, they're all salivating right now. If they came back and they passed this bill, and even with the Epstein files, now you have Democrats calling for the Epstein files to be released. Maybe it was part of that if this was a joke. Now you have Democrats say, we want to know what's in the Epstein files. They weren't calling for it before because they didn't care because it involved mostly Democrats. But now that Elon threw it out there saying, oh, Trump was on the list, now Democrats are, oh, we want to see the list. Now, it's not what it is. Even though that will be awesome and great, to fool the media and say, hey, guess what? We fooled you and we had you lie to the American people. Unwillingly lie to them, not knowing lie to them because we pulled this prank on you and we got our bill passed. Well, that's what you deserve for willingly lying to the American people for all these years over President Biden, and him being a dead president and everything else that they covered up. So, yeah, would that be great? But it's not what it is. But it really would be awesome if it was, but it's not. So it will all be good in the end because there's going to be bold reformers that are going to come out here, and it's going to make the left look bad even more because eventually they're going to show themselves as the bottom feeding river rats that they are, because they'll leech onto anything possible to either hurt the Republican Party, hurt this administration, hurt Trump, or I would even say hurt this country because they can give a damn about this country with their policies. But they will latch on to anything possible that they can get their hands on. So yeah, are the headlines messy? Are the tweets brutal? Yeah, they are. But they're men. Think about it. They're men. And I'm going to say this right now. Men, they can butt heads and get in the biggest fight. Say, for instance, I'm on my job site. Now, I work with my coworkers and we're friendly on the job. There are times where I don't like the way they're working. I run the project. It's my job, and I have subcontractors, and I deal with all the foremen and stuff like that. But we get along, and I listen to them, they listen to me. We build a project together. But there are times when we disagree. There are times where I'm not saying I don't make mistakes. There are times when I make mistakes, but I will own up to them. But there are times where we'll have a foreman's meeting with them, and I'll say, okay, well, we'll have all the foremans, every different trade in the room. And I'll say, all right, well, how many guys are you going to have this week? Because building a building is like a train. One trade follows the other. And if one trade doesn't supply the manpower that they said they were going to, and it holds up another trade, which holds up the entire project, then I will call that foreman out. I'm like, well, you were supposed to have 10 guys here, not 4. And now the other trade has to lay guys off. So you're disrupting every cart on the train. And sometimes they don't like that. And then there's times where we got into scream matches, like face-to-face scream matches. And, nobody hit anybody, but it was just 2 guys, stand up. Because no man likes to be yelled at by another man in front of people or on social media like this, which is the biggest platform in the world. So it hits you hard. But then right after that, there's times where I got into a massive argument with somebody, like it looked like we were about to fight. It's F you, this, that, and the other. And the next day, you wake up, you go to work in the morning, go out and say, hey, how you doing? And the next thing you know, you're having lunch together at lunchtime. And everything's swept under the rug because men can let that go. And that's nothing to dig at women. It's not. But women are a little bit different, I would say, because men and women are different. in my experience anyway, with my wife, with my sisters, with other women that I know, when they get in an argument with another woman, they tend to hold on to it for a little longer because it's in their nature. They're built that way. They're more nourishing. And I'm not, when I say softer, I don't mean it in a weakness way. I mean just like that's the way they're made. They're softer because they're more nurturing. They're there to take care of things. And I'll tell you that my wife takes care of me, and I'm the provider. I'm the man. So there is a difference. So for all the feminists out there think I'm downgrading women, I'm not. It's just the way that we're made. It's in our DNA. But men can do that more easily. Men can just let it go. I'm like, yeah, because we're simple, and it's not exactly a compliment for men, but we're just simple creatures. We can get over stuff easily. It's like, football game. Yeah, forget about everything, and that's it. We can go and, like I said, but I'll fight with one of the foremen on work. It could be a knockdown, drag out argument, face to face, spit flying. Everyone on the job site thinks you're about to get into a fight. You go home, and then next day you come on, how about the Eagles, man? And they go, yeah, you see that touchdown last night? Boom, it's gone. It's dismissed. It's gone. We're fine. And we move on. Now, women aren't built that way. Women tend to hold a grudge, and I don't blame them for it. That's why they have that saying, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. But that's just the way we're made. But in the end, I'm telling you, this is not going to be a big deal. I think it's actually a good thing, because if the Republican Party comes out on top of this and it strengthens them, and it already is, everyone that's in Trump's cabinet, it's making them closer together. No one's defecting and saying, I'm going with Elon. It's not happening. And it's not like all the tech people out there are saying, F this administration, we're going to, it's not happening. It's not going to happen. They're going to calm down. It's going to be over with soon, and we're going to move on. And I would just say, enjoy the entertainment for what it's worth. It was entertaining. It was for me. I mean, it threw me through a loop when I saw it yesterday. I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a prank when I was first reading it. But then I realized it was serious, and it seems to be that way. But that's fine. I'm okay with it. Musk is a man. He's a billionaire. He'll get over it. Trump is a man. He's a president and a billionaire. He'll get over it. So wouldn't worry about it. Wouldn't put too much thought on it, other than just enjoy the show for now. I'm sure there's going to be back and forth. I mean, I've heard that Musk was trying to reach out to Trump to have a talk with him today. You're already seeing Musk took down some tweets. I'm sure both of them are regretting something in one way, shape, or form. Now, who's going to be the first one to put their hand out? I don't know. Maybe they never do. And if they don't, that's fine. I don't think it's going to be detrimental to either Musk's company or Trump's presidency or to this country at all. I think, if anything, it'll show our resolve as the Republican Party, because that's where we differ from the Democrats. And again, I'd say Democrats as a brand. Not every Democrat is a bad person or a scumbag. They're just people that have been used to being Democrats for so long that that's their line. That's where they're going, and they don't want to listen to anything else, or they were never shown anything else to change their mind. And I used to be a Democrat, as I tell people all the time, because that's all I knew until I opened my eyes and I started realizing, like, well, Democrats aren't really for the working class anymore. They're not at all. I used to think that Republicans were like the upper echelon of society and they're hoity-toity, but they're really not. Maybe they used to be, but before I was born, but they're not. I mean, I can tell you that right now, that Republicans are more on the side of the working class. They definitely are. Democrats are not. Democrats want to spend your money and give it away to illegal aliens and to people that do not want to work just for votes and just for power. But I think this will strengthen the Republican Party. I think this will strengthen the nation. And I think it'll make Trump stronger. I think it'll make Musk stronger. And I believe wholeheartedly that in the end of this, you will see them two shaking hands on the White House lawn. Now, if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. But I will be Jersey sure, S-U-R-E, that this split between Trump and Musk, it will not be detrimental to the Republican Party. And it will not be detrimental to this country in the end. Maybe some speed bumps going forward, maybe, but it will not be detrimental. So I could be wrong about the handshake in the end, because they do have some pretty big egos, but I'm optimistic that we're definitely going to see that, because that's how real men operate. And all the Democrats out there that are spending $20 million to find out what men really want, sending people to gyms, that's just ridiculous. So save the $20 million, watch this podcast. That's what men men will get over what it is. Well, do they overreact sometimes? Yes, I do. When somebody hurts you or says something about you, or you have a goal you're trying to hit, someone stands in your way. Yeah, does it make you upset? Does it piss you off? And you want to go at them? Yeah, sure. And they might come back at you, but in the end, they'll be level-headed and it'll calm down. Because in the end, what's the point? They can destroy each other all they want. It's not good for them. It's not good for the country. I believe they both love this country, and I think they both love themselves too. But it's so either way, it's not going to be good for either one of them individually. It's not going to be good for this country at all. So with that, I just want to wrap up the week with that, because I know a lot of people are talking about it. It's hot news. It was like a bombshell drop, broken arrow, boom. And then that's why I named the segment Fallout. Here's the fallout from the broken arrow. But I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. I would just enjoy the ride, and let's get this bill passed. And again, the bill does have stuff in there that people don't like. There's stuff in there that I don't like, but you have to be a realist. You have to be pragmatic. I think it's the best thing to pass this bill. I really do, to keep the government going and to have tax cuts for Americans, and not the rich, like everyone always says. Oh, they're tax cuts for the rich. I can't stand the Democrats. No, it's not. I mean, how many rich people wait tables? I'm just curious. How many rich people wait tables? No tax on tips. How many? Well, I'm sure there's rich people that collect Social Security, but the majority of the country is not rich that collects Social Security, so no tax on Social Security. How many rich people work overtime? Now, I'm sure they work a lot of hours to build their business, but it's not like they're working hourly like an everyday worker, because they own the business. So they can work as long as they want or as less as they want. They're still making the same amount of money. Now, it's just whether they want their business to be more profitable, to work harder, to build it. I mean, that's on them, whether they want to do it or not. But a regular worker like myself or like anyone else out there, if you work overtime, you get time and a half or double time in some cases. That's a lot of money. And if you don't have to pay taxes on that, that is a lot of money in your paycheck. That doesn't sound like it's for rich people to me. So when Democrats say it's tax cuts for the rich, no, it's really not. And when everyone always says out there, the rich have to pay their fair share, the billionaires pay their fair share. Well, the wealthiest 1% of America, the wealthiest 1% pay 60% in federal income tax. So you can look it up. You can fact check it if you want. You don't have to believe me, like I always say. But 1% of our population pays 60% of the federal income tax. So the other 99% only pay 40%. So I'm pretty sure the rich do pay their fair share. Now, do I think they get away with stuff sometimes? Sure, they do. But who wouldn't take advantage of a tax loophole if they could? I mean, then change the law. That's what it should be. But I don't think they're out there just gouging money from the American people the way they are. I think that government overspending gouges money from the American people more than anything. If say I started a company and I became a billionaire, now I created a ton of jobs to do that. So I employ people, and I have to pay a lot of money. I'm taking all the risk. So if it was just me where I'm at right now and I wanted to open this big company, I would have to buy a warehouse or rent one. Say I wanted to make laptops, say, who knows? And I would have to buy all the equipment to do that. I had to hire the correct people that know how to build them. I would have to market it. I would have to have a safety coordinator. I have to find how do I pay their benefits. I would need a payroll company. I would need all this stuff to get my business started. And then I would hire these people for that who aren't taking a risk. They're coming to work for me. So I have to make sure that their paycheck is there. Whether I'm making money or not, they have to be paid. So that's my risk that I'm taking. Now, if they're great employees and the business starts up and I start making money, then their paycheck comes in every week, no matter what. And the business I started becomes profitable, and then it grows and expands. I hire more people and expands, hires more people. So there's nothing wrong with somebody being an entrepreneur and starting their own business and becoming rich from that. That's the greatest thing about capitalism. It invites merit, it invites innovation. And that's what it should be. But if they didn't do that, if they didn't go their way, say I took out a loan for $1 million to get this started and it collapsed, then everyone that worked for me, they still got their paychecks while the business was going forward. But my business collapsed, and sorry, I can't employ you anymore. I don't even have a job myself because my business went under. They're going to go find a job somewhere else. I'm still responsible for that $1 million loan that I took out. I took the risk and I didn't get the reward. So the bigger risk, the greater reward. So that's the way it is. sometimes it pans out, people become millionaires. So I don't have anything against them for that because they create jobs and contribute to the economy. So with that, I'm going to end it for tonight. It's 9:40 tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. But I'm going to go into a couple of things. I want to talk about a GoFundMe for Seth again. Seth, Jonah Eisenberg. I still don't know why he doesn't go by Jonah. Jonah's a good name, Seth, man, but he goes by Seth. But Seth is a great guy. He's a veteran. He was in the Navy. And I love when he's on the podcast because he has no filter. Like, he'll just say what is. He reminds me, and I hope you're watching, Seth. He reminds me of like the older guy that it's like he can say what he wants and get away with it. But like, hey, he's just old. He's going to say it anyway. But what he says is absolutely correct. I don't think I ever disagree with what that said at all. But this is the way he says it, and it comes out. It's entertaining, and it's like he's like the old guy. He can just get away with saying it how he wants to say. You're like, yep, he's already set his ways. You're not changing them. But Seth is a really good guy. Family guy. He's a veteran, and then he was in the hospital for months with his foot. I mean, I don't know if he saw his last episode. It's a conservative corner. He was out for a while, came back, and he actually showed some pictures of his foot, and it was horrible. You can see right through his foot. He had so many surgeries, out of work for a long time. And the hospital bills have been building up. He's been out of work. He's just getting back to work and then still having some health issues as well at the same time. So they started GoFundMe, and it's up right there on the screen. So if anybody out there has it, if you can, whatever you can, whether it's $1, $5, $50, $100, whatever it can be. I don't expect everyone to do it, but I'm just asking if you can. I'm going to vouch for him. He's a great guy, and he actually is somebody that could use it. And the health situation for him with everything else, I mean, it's still not getting better for him. I mean, he could talk about it when he wants, but it's just not getting better for him. The guy needs to catch a break, and if anybody can help him out, please, I'm asking. So there's that, and all the other great podcasters that are on America's Pulse Network. You have obviously myself, Jersey Shore. That's SURE. We're on Mondays and Fridays at 8 p.m. on the podcast, and the radio show for Jersey Shore is on 92.1, Cruising 92.1 WVLT on Thursdays from 5 to 6. And you can find that on Facebook. You can find it on Facebook under the radio station 92.1 WVLT, or you can go on my page and watch it live, or watch it recorded after, or you can go on Google or whatever and look up the station. You can listen to it live as well. Then there is the great show, The Pulse, that all the other podcasters are part of on Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Now that one is great. I love it. I have more fun doing that one than this one, honestly. Even when I have guests on, but it's just a bunch of great people with different ways they see things, and we get along great, and it's just a great conversation. And I think this show is awesome, and we're getting a lot of great feedback from it. So that's every Wednesday at 8 p.m. And they are the podcasters that are under network, and we have guests. We have Lady Barbera, we have Tim Facemaker, and then we have Seth on, Seth Eisenberg. We have Alexander Levine, who is our White House correspondent under America's Pulse Network. The Pulse is awesome, and their shows are awesome too. So you have Alexander Levine live. She's Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. And then Seth, as of right now, is a conservative corner. That's Sundays at 7 p.m. So check out their shows as well as mine, and then check out the Pulse on Wednesday, because we're going to keep, delivering the news to you guys unfiltered. And, we're not doing this for fame, really. We're just want to get the truth out there and the real news, because again, I will say it, and I will say it every podcast. I hate mainstream media so much that they lie, and their hypocrisy it's unbelievable. So I'm just going to keep doing this, and they're going to keep doing the same thing. And I invite you all just to keep watching. And again, don't believe us. Look it up for yourself. Whatever we say, look it up for yourself. And if we're wrong with anything, I would love for you to to respond and say, well, I'm wrong, or throw something out there and say, oh, I have a question like this, and you put it out there, put out the question. So who said Pete Sykes? It sounds like he was having a bad day. That's Pete Sykes. I don't know what the heck he's talking about, but Pete's running for anyone from New Jersey, Camden County. Pete is running for assembly in LD6. The primary, he's good in the primary that's coming up, but November look for Peter Sykes and Jack Brangan running for Assembly in 96. So with that, thank you for joining the show. It is tiring tonight. I'm beat. I'll get into the baseball game. My son, he won again, but he got beat last game, which is a mess. It was horrible what the President League did with the kids, but that's something I'll talk about later. But it has been a long week, not just with work, but not with everything else that's going on with the kids and their sports and my job. But it's been a long week with all the news that's been coming out and everything that's going on with Musk and Trump. It's been exciting to say the least. I'll tell you that. But don't worry about it. It'll be fine. So with that, stay alert, stay involved, and as always, stay Jersey Shore. Thanks for joining. Have a good night.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. The America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. APN's The Pulse, hosted by Alexandra, Damon, and Seth. So tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X/Twitter, Rumble, Truth Social, Facebook, and YouTube. Join the revolution. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
Stand together through the night. America first, raising the flag.